Patrick McNeil joined out at the intermission by Cape Breton Eagles second-year forward Angelo Fullerton recently returned to the lineup. Angelo, how happy are you to be back playing?
It's been great, just kind of getting out with the boys again, practicing, getting comfortable again. But I feel like the first couple of games back have been good, and just can't wait to get the last couple out of the way and then into playoffs.
Nice as well. You come back to a team that's on a winning streak that continues with you in the lineup. What do you think's going right for the group right now?
Yeah, I think we're just playing our game and just keeping it simple. We have 4 solid lines and 6 really good D, whether it's injuries or whatever, but our whole lineup, we're deep. I think when everyone's going, we're really going, and we all play for each other.
Obviously, you would rather have been playing, but how nice was it to be able to actually go home while you were out of the lineup?
That was nice, getting to be with my family for that little bit of time while I was recovering, and I think that helped a lot, but obviously every day I was working towards getting back here, so now that I'm back, it's been good.
When a player comes back from illness, it's a little bit different. So if you have a broken arm or whatever, once it heals, you're probably ready to go. But it's a bit different trying to get back into game shape. Yeah. How frustrating is that, knowing you're healthy enough to do everything except play?
That was really frustrating. I was doing everything I could, but at the end of the day, it was just with that illness, I was really fatigued. When I got back to Cape before I was playing, I was practicing a little bit with the team and working out a lot. So it was just kind of getting my strength back and my conditioning.
One thing that's been a strength in your game, and I think it helps the team now that you're back, is penalty killing. Where does that sense to kill penalties come from for you, do you think?
I think just adapting. In Bantam and Midget, I wasn't necessarily a defensive forward, but if you want to make this league and make an impact, you got to kind of adapt and fill roles that are there to be filled. I think just kind of finding my game as that 200-foot guy, it's been great.
Not just an ice hockey star in the ball hockey world as well. You were on the New Brunswick under-19 team. Congratulations on that. Just tell us about your ball hockey and how did that tournament go?
It was good. We had nationals over in Newfoundland, and it was a fun experience. The team didn't do as well as we had hoped, but it was fun. It's just one of those things that you can do in the summer to kind of keep your conditioning there. It's fun. It's not exactly like hockey, so you're kind of getting away from the rink, but it's similar enough that you still kind of have that love and passion for it.
Yeah, I was going to say, what would be the biggest difference? Obviously, running versus skating would be a big one. Anything else that kind of stands out there?
Playing with a ball is pretty tough. It can take some pretty unpredictable bounces, so
right?
Just stuff like that. And obviously running is a little bit tougher than skating. You can kind of glide on skates, but running, you try to glide, you're going to fall right on your face. So
no coasting in ball hockey, maybe roller hockey. Speaking of New Brunswick, what are the lines you've had a lot of success with this year? Well, I was calling the New Brunswick line when you're playing with Juan Patterson. 3 guys from the 3 different Q cities. What is it about that line that works? And do you remember playing against those guys growing up?
Yeah, I played against Patty, obviously, all my life. We're the same age, so those were always pretty good battles. The St. John-Moncton rivalry was always there, and obviously Tony's a year older than me, so every odd year I'd get to play against him, but obviously those 2 guys are pretty special players growing up. Some of the best players from where they're from, so it's always fun getting to play that tough competition and just kind of test yourself. Speaking
of the St. John-Moncton rivalry, maybe one of the highlights of your career, I'm going to guess, was winning the Monctonian because you guys beat Moncton in the final. Yeah. How much does that tournament mean, and how satisfying is it as a St. John guy to win because you're winning in their city?
Yeah, it's pretty special. You play in that tournament in Bantam and Midget, and it's one of the bigger ones that you play in as an Atlantic Canadian. Obviously, winning that game in the finals against Moncton was pretty cool, and it was a 1-0 game that I scored the only goal in. So that was pretty cool, too, to do.
Don't still have the puck, do you?
No, I didn't keep the puck. The medal was good enough.
Probably didn't know at the time it was going to be a 1-0 final. We were talking about ball hockey earlier, but I think you also played some soccer growing up. Were you playing at a high level?
Yeah, I played at a pretty high level of soccer. That was kind of my summer sport. But my family comes from Italy. My grandparents were born in Italy, so that's kind of one of those sports that runs in the blood. That was a nice little summer sport that I got to play.
Were you an attacking player, defending player?
Midfielder.
You mentioned Italy. I don't know if I'm giving away secrets here. You may or may not have a tattoo that gives homage to the family bloodline.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I have a tattoo. It's the world with the Italian coordinates where my grandparents were born and where I was born in St. John. So it's a pretty meaningful piece of work that I put on my body.
I really like that. I always find it interesting when people do stuff that relates to family. That's really cool. Much lighter topic. I have to ask, which Eagles player is currently doing the best at Monopoly on their phone?
We got quite the little competition going amongst the team, but I think it's got to be Biggs or Lavi. They've been playing the longest, so they have a bit of the edge. I didn't get on it till I got back, so kind of fell behind, but I've been doing my best to keep up.
A bit of an interesting situation earlier this week. You guys had the chance to practice in front of fans and member to. How fun was that to practice in front of them? How different is it to practice with people watching?
It was pretty different, but at the same time, it was a pretty cool experience getting to see how much support we have in the community. All the people that came out and showed up for our practice, and the autograph session after was pretty special too, getting to see all the fans that support us every day at the Nest. So yeah, that was pretty special.
It's pretty interesting too this week how you're basically having a different home base with the curling. Have you kind of made yourself at home a member to yet, or is that more of a next week thing, do you think?
We got a couple practices in there, and the Lynx have been nice enough to let us use their room, so that's been pretty cool. But I think we kind of approach it the same as if we were at Center 200. We're there to do a job. We're there to practice and get better. We're not too focused on where. It's just more about getting better.
You talked about the 2 months that you were off. How much were you able to keep working on your skills, and how much was it just focusing on getting back to normal?
The first couple weeks was more just kind of getting my rest, getting fluids into me and stuff like that. But as I got better, I started gradually going for walks, which turned into jogs and little workouts in my room to just kind of maintain a little bit of strength. But then obviously when I got back to Cape, it intensified quite a bit, getting on the ice and in the gym.
Unfortunately, you had missed some time, but still second year, played over 40 games this year. How do you feel you've developed in your time playing in the league?
I think I've developed nicely as kind of that bottom six, two-way guy who can be trusted in defensive responsibilities, as well as if you need to get the puck in deep and get some pressure on the team and kind of get an energy shift, I can kind of supply that. So I think I've been developing nicely. Obviously, you always kind of want to look for the points, but I feel like if you kind of put that in the rearview mirror, they'll come. And if not, you just got to kind of focus on what you can do to contribute to help the team win.
Well, I think fans and players alike are happy to have you back. Best of luck the rest of the season. Thanks for this, Angelo.
Thank you, Patty.
That was Cape Breton Eagles forward Angelo Fullerton joining us at the intermission. You're listening to Celtic About Cape Breton Eagles Hockey, 1270 CJCB.